We've heard this a lot recently that the Conservative Party is moving to the right. In fact, Theresa May's Conservatives are actually quite left-wing. It's because they're primarily ideological, not practical. For example, one of their ideological points is to oppose free market without any regards to facts or historical track record.
That the state exists to provide what individual people, communities and markets cannot. And that we should employ the power of government for the good of the people.
The only thing that Theresa May's Conservative Party stands for these days is opposing the Labour Party, despite copying similar policies sometimes. Both Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn want higher taxes and nationalisation. The only difference between the two is the level of high taxation and nationalisation. At the last Tory conference, I was speaking to a lot of TRG One Nation Conservatives who were speaking about nationalising railways and some banks in certain situations. You wouldn't normally expect to hear this from a Conservative member or at a Conservative conference, but this is the situation we're living in these days. This is especially weird because you would expect from people on the centre-right of the spectrum to know that these sort of policies have never worked in the past.
Time to reject the ideological templates provided by the socialist left and the libertarian right, and to embrace a new centre ground in which government steps up and not back to act on behalf of us all.
Now, when it comes to the leadership of the Conservative Party, usually what the left of the party does is to promote themselves as the conventional and the qualified candidates. However, historically speaking, when you look back at every single leader that they have been promoting who had seemed quite vanilla but nice, speaks well and is conventional, their track record hasn't actually done good for them. Theresa May, John Major, Ted Heath, Anthony Eden, Chamberlain, and so on. All seem qualified, but their track record quite poor. Going back to the people who think this Conservative government is right-wing, here are some facts. It was this Conservative government who announced the end to austerity despite still having high national debt. It's been under this Conservative government that we've had the highest tax burden in decades. And here's a list of things that have been banned or are being considered to be banned by this government. Selling puppies and kittens at pet shops, plain packaging for cigarettes, selling bouncy castles, selling energy drinks for children, banning junk food adverts on TV, using cartoon characters on snacks, banning 2-for-1 offers on snacks. Now you might say some of these ideas are good and some of them are bad, but the main point is, this is not a right-wing approach to politics. Now nanny state is bad for two reasons. Number one, morally. It's bad for individual liberty and it makes people intellectually lazy and dependent on the state to decide what's right or wrong. Number two, it doesn't work. People always find loopholes. Look at America in the 1920s with alcohol. Look at Iran, who's banned everything, but people still do whatever they want. Now the next leadership election within the Conservative Party, as usual, will be based on personalities and how members feel about them as individuals, rather than what they actually advocate as ideas. My advice is go for the latter. Winston Churchill, Margaret Thatcher, Ronald Reagan and Sir Robert Peel were all perceived as fools and clowns and quite out there. But look at the results and look at their track record when they left office. At the end, they all proved their opponents wrong.
Some socialists seem to believe that people should be numbers in a state computer. We believe they should be individuals. We're all unequal. No one, thank heavens, is quite like anyone else, however much the socialists may pretend otherwise. And we believe that everyone has the right to be unequal, but to us, every human being is equally important.
Under the socialist system, where everything is controlled by an all-powerful state, we cannot hope to uphold our standard of life and secure employment for the 50 million crowded in our small island.
It's quite simple. Vote for someone who defends free market and individual liberty and see the results for yourself at the end. Thank you again for watching. If you enjoy the content, as usual, make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new video.